We are recording a podcast, Postpartum, with Hayzen Sikes in your arms.
So I didn't want coached pushing, but because I had a lip and because I had already been pushing for an hour and a half to 2 hours, my body was so exhausted. And then I was fighting my body to not be pushing and stuff. So they ended up helping me a lot. And it was really helpful. Like during the contraction, they would say little things to me. And I'm like, you have to keep saying that. Like, because it's reminding me to do this or to use these muscles. And that was so helpful. It was just like everything. It was everything I wanted. He did not come out screeching like Rigel did, but he was breathing and his skin was going the right color.
Yeah, and they kept saying how healthy the placenta and the cord looks.
Yeah, they're like, look at this placenta. It is so healthy. And I'm like, yeah, it's what diet does for you.
All right, babe, how are you?
Good.
We're just jumping right in. We got two really important things to talk about. One,
Robert's about to make a joke.
we had a baby.
Oh.
Two, the main reason we're talking, like the big thing. This is episode 800.
Mm-hmm.
Now let's talk about the baby. The baby's pretty important.
Yeah.
So you're feeding that baby. I'm wearing my concealed carry sweatpants, and you're wearing your concealed carry breastfeeding top. It's pretty cool. What brand is that?
I don't know. Got it on Amazon.
It looks like a concealed carry thing for boobs, though. It's like you just have a little side pocket, easy access.
I have never had a nursing shirt before, but I gave in with this child.
He is a hungry hippo.
Yeah. With Rigel, like you could just wear like a tank top and like a shirt over, and you just lift the shirt up and the tank top down. No one really notices. But this one, I just said, I just need some new shirts. So went on Amazon, ordered me some.
You're rocking it. How many did you get? I've seen two.
9 or something.
You got 9? All different colors?
Yeah. They're different shirts. Like there's tank tops and there's t-shirts. And
Can we put like screen printed logos on them?
No, I'm just going to leave them plain.
Just going to leave them plain.
Yep.
All right. So this is, I guess, technically, is this the 3rd episode in the series that we started? The birth?
First trimester, 2nd, 3rd, 4th.
We did a 3rd?
Yep.
I thought we were going to bundle the birth and the 3rd together. I can't remember.
Nope.
So this is the 4th.
Mm-hmm. We just did it.
So the last one we recorded, how many weeks out were you? Do you remember?
I was 40 weeks.
Okay, that's right. Yeah. So you were 40 weeks, and he didn't decide to make his appearance until
41 and 4.
41 and 4.
41 weeks and 4 days, if you don't know what that means.
And now we are recording a podcast, Postpartum, with Hayzen Sikes in your arms.
Yep.
He's pretty cute.
He is pretty cute.
He popped out looking pretty cute.
Yeah, he sure did. He was adorable.
Yeah.
He almost looked like a C-section baby. Like, you know, C-section babies are a lot more like fluffier and they don't have the cone head and like all the things that was him.
He looked like a baby version of Rigel when Rigel was born, because Rigel looked like a 98-year-old man version of Rigel when he was born. And Hayzen looked like the young version of him.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they look a lot alike. Like as soon as he came out, I was like, whoa, he looks like Rigel.
Yeah. All right, so let's give people a play-by-play here. So we did the podcast at 40 weeks, 3rd trimester, and then you went another week, nothing.
Yep.
Pretty much
I did have
usual.
some things that were changing and like happening, but nothing, like there's no labor started. Yeah.
And at that point, you had pretty much reduced your weight training significantly. You were doing more stretching. Mm-hmm. You were doing a whole bunch of like spinning babies, all the mobility work.
Lots of stretching.
What are all the different movements?
There's just a bunch of them. It's like they call it the 3 sisters. Actually, I don't think they call it that anymore, but that's what it's called. Where you're doing like an inversion. Inversion, yeah. So like you're like downward dog, but like from your knees. I don't know what that's called. So you do that for 30 minutes, and then you do...
With your knees on like a cushion or something, like a chair.
No, it could just be...
On the ground?
Yeah. And then that one's kind of uncomfortable to hold that position. But then you have the side-lying, exaggerated side-lying. So you like lay on your side, and you have your leg hiked up on a pillow. And then the third one is you just like go do movement. So like you're doing lunges and squats and...
We're doing some walking, getting some steps in.
Yeah, and then like curb walking and all of that kind of stuff. So, and then that's another 30 minutes. So it's like 90 minutes of this thing. But then I was just doing like a lot of side lunges, a lot of stretching, a lot of just like all different kinds of movements.
And he was not moving.
He was not moving.
And we were, like your nutrition was staying consistent. You weren't really adding any new supplementation, nothing really new there. With Rigel, he was in the wrong position, which is why we had to have the emergency C-section. What was his position again?
Why can you not remember ever?
I can't remember if it's posterior or anterior.
Posterior.
Okay, so phase presentation posterior.
Yes.
Hayzen, we felt confident was head down in the right position, but he hadn't engaged, meaning his head hadn't like gone into the right position within your pelvis.
Yeah, he was like super low, but he wasn't like in like the birth canal. Like he was ready to rock. But a lot of times babies, especially second time babies, they actually won't engage until labor happens. So.
And nothing really new happened until July 4th, I guess, right?
Yeah.
So your sister Heather was in. Her daughter Caroline, who's 9, was in. Rigel was there. You were there, pregnant with Hayzen. Yes. 4th of July. And we grilled steaks that night, didn't we? Pretty sure we did.
You guys did.
Yeah, so we grilled steaks and had bought fireworks because Caroline, poor Caroline, she'd never had fireworks before. Like never in legit fireworks because I live in town in Spokane. And I'm like, man, we live out in the country. There's firework tents everywhere. We're going to fix you up right. So I took her into town. We bought $200 worth of fireworks and came back. And I'm kind of, shooting those off with Heather.
But the thing is like, I told Robert, I was like, we're going to have a baby. So like, if you're going to get fireworks, you need to get fireworks now. If you are going to make steaks, you need to make steaks now. Like I kept telling him, like, do it now. I'm getting anxious. And because I knew I was in the starts of labor.
See, I didn't know that. I was like, you said we're going to have a baby. And I'm like, yeah, I know we're going to have a baby. I mean, it could be today, it could be tomorrow, it could be a week from now. We're going to have a baby for sure. But,
Robert was not taking my hints. And I was pretty much not hinting. I was like, we're having a baby, like today or tomorrow. Like today or tomorrow, we're having a baby.
Yeah. But to be fair, you had been saying that for like the week and a half leading up to that moment.
Well, but it wasn't like that. Like I told you, I was like, I'm getting anxious. I need you to be home. Like I need you to be here.
Hospital bags hadn't been packed on my part yet. Crystal had packed like 3 weeks prior.
Yeah. I had everything packed, ready to go by the door. And Robert still had not packed like the 2 things he needed to pack.
So Crystal is like, I don't want to shoot fireworks. I don't want to grill a steak. I'm going to just go take a bath. And I'm okay. You go take a bath.
Except for he didn't just say, I'm going to go take a bath. I was like, I'm going to go take a bath.
So she's in there taking a bath. And I got the kids wanting to shoot fireworks. I'm all right. How can I make a compromise here and check all the boxes? So I get Heather's phone, put it on speaker. Tried to find the walkie-talkies. Couldn't find those. So I put her phone on speaker next to you in the bath. And then I had the receiving end outside. And I'm like shooting fireworks off with the kids. Loud noises, pop, crackle, snap. And then the whole time you're in the bathroom just moaning.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, this is some good ambiance for the fireworks here. We got Crystal moaning. We got the fireworks popping.
Well, at first they left the sound on. So I could hear them hooting and hollering. And I was like, somebody turn off your microphone, like mute yourself. I can't be listening to you guys outside.
Yeah. So we did that and we're shooting off fireworks. All is well, eating steak, happy go lucky. And then Crystal's like, I'm going to go move to the bedroom. So I went inside. I helped you move to the bedroom. You got on the bed. You're all situated. And then we keep shooting off fireworks. It's getting dark at this point. The kids are catching lightning bugs. They call them fireflies up north, apparently. Mm-hmm. And all is well. And then I hear you come on the speakerphone. You're like, all right, I'm ready for somebody to come here now. So then I come in there, stop shooting fireworks. And then you wanted me to call the doula. Mm-hmm. So I called her.
I was like, it was to the point where like at first, so labor started at like 4. Like I could tell I was going to start labor really soon. Yeah. But it started at like 4 p.m.
Steaks were done at 5.
But it started off really fast. Like that first hour, I couldn't even catch my breath. Like I felt like my contractions were like on top of each other. So I'm texting my doula and I'm like, obviously I'm okay because I'm still texting you. But I'm like, these are 50 seconds to a minute long. They're 2 or 3 minutes apart. Like they feel like they're on top of each other. I don't know if he's in the wrong position. I don't know, like, because why is it starting so quick, like so aggressively? And she's like, go relax. And I think that was part of it, is like I hadn't even gotten into like I'm in labor. Let's chill out. It was just like I was anxious. I was trying to get everything done and packed and do all the things. And then finally, when I was able to relax, I was like, I am full on in labor right now.
But to be fair, every doula meeting we had up to that point, the doula kept telling me, she'd look at me and she'd be like, all right, Robert, listen, there's something called prodromal
labor.
Prodromal labor. And she's going to think she's in labor. She's going to start counting contractions. She's going to start timing things. That could last forever. And the problem is women get so excited about that they tire themselves out before the real labor starts. It's like if she starts doing that, you just like distract her, act like nothing's up, or go mow the yard or something. And I'm like, all right, I got you.
The thing is, Robert doesn't really need that, because Robert will just be like, you're fine. Don't worry. You're fine.
Yeah, rub some dirt on it. So yeah, that's kind of where my headspace was. Like, okay, this is like more intense prodromal labor, right? We're in that stage. So then you had me call the doula, or we're laying on the bed, and I'm holding the phone. You're like not even talking to the doula. And I'm like, I guess I'm supposed to be talking to the doula right now. So, hey, doula, Jack. She's awesome, by the way.
Yeah, she's so awesome.
Crystal can't talk right now, but she wanted me to call you. I don't know what she wants me to say, but she's just moaning over here while we're shooting off fireworks. And you said something like, you gave her a little bit of insight, and then I'm like, okay, I think we're probably on the verge of having a baby.
I think she heard me having a couple of contractions.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah.
And I told her, I'm like, all right, we'll probably see at some point tonight, Jack. And then that was the end of that conversation. And then at that point, we were like, okay, what's our game plan? And Rigel was still awake and fired up. So I'm like, how about this? How about you go with Heather, so you've got somebody. I'm going to try and give Rigel a shower real quick, get him in jammies, get him in bed, and ideally he falls asleep. That way he's taken care of, and then I can come back and focus on you. So I'm kind of doing that whole bedtime, bath time routine. And then Heather walks into the room, and she's like, yeah, Crystal wants to go to the hospital now. And I'm like, all right.
And that the thing is, too, is I wanted Robert to be able to put Rigel down, too, because this is the first time we'd ever spent this long of time away from Rigel. He's never spent the night away from us. So I wanted him to be able to fall asleep in his own zone with his own parent and all the things. But sitting on the toilet is actually like one of the things that like a laboring woman actually, it feels the best, because your pelvic floor naturally releases and relaxes when you're in that position, because you're peeing, pooping, doing whatever. So your body's used to in that position and in that place relaxing. So actually the toilet is called the dilation station. Helps you to dilate because you're able to completely relax your pelvic floor. You can let out any pee, you can let out whatever, you're just sitting there. So I was actually sitting on the toilet, and I was like contracting, and I felt myself like kind of push, like, and it wasn't me. It was like, that's just the way your body naturally just pushes your baby out. And my sister comes into the bathroom. She's like, you doing okay? I said, I think I'm pushing. And she's like, I think you are too. I just heard you grunt. And I was like, I think I need to go to the hospital. And like, she could tell that I was worried, because we are an hour and 10 minutes away from the hospital. And I was just like, I'm nervous. And she's like, don't be nervous. You're going to be just fine. You're going to make it there, but you should probably leave like right now. And I was like, I agree. I should leave I should probably have left 30 minutes ago. So that's what happened there. And then she's like, I'm going to go take care of Rigel. I'm going to have Robert come in here. And yeah.
Yeah. So I got everybody loaded up in the truck. You, me, and Hayzen. And
my stomach.
Yeah. And we start driving. It's like an hour and 10 minutes, like you said, and windy country road, back road. And you had had all these playlists that you had made. We didn't turn that on really at all.
I did. I had it on in the bath and in the bathroom. Like I had it on, but it was just really low. Yeah.
But we start driving, and we don't really play any music while we're driving. I'm just listening to you moan the whole way. And then every bump that we hit, whoa. Yeah. So I'm like, all right, this is going to be a new audio track here.
But we had to take back roads to get to the main highway. And it was pretty rough.
Pretty rough.
Yeah.
So we get to the hospital at 11.
It was like 11:05. Yeah.
Yeah, 11:05. Jack, the doula, meets us there. We're unloading the truck, and then you get in all fours in the parking lot of the hospital.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I didn't want to have a baby in the parking lot. Jack's like, all right, I think y'all came at the right time. So we get into the hospital doors, and it is weird. It's like we went to the emergency room. That's where they told us to go. And they're probably used to seeing all kinds of riffraff in there. And like the guy at the counter, they had to have us go through like a metal detector and like security. And the guy at the counter is like looking at you because you had gone through first, and you're like moaning and like leaning up against the counter. And he's like kind of like looking around, like totally oblivious. And he just looks up at you with this big smile. He's like, and what are you in for today?
Yeah.
the doula's like I was speechless. The doula's like, she's having a baby.
Yeah.
So he finally let us through. The other security guard was like, she can't even write her name on the paper. Why don't you take over?
The front office guy was like the one asking the question. Then the security guard is the one that was like, hey, man, why don't you sign in these papers for her? Because she's having a hard time getting through it.
Yeah. So we get through that, and we don't really wait very long there. So that was pretty smooth. We get up to our room, and
yeah, we didn't even have to go through triage or anything. They just sent me right to labor and delivery.
And like they just renovated all those rooms. We had like a good, nice room. They had like a stand-up shower. I mean, it's ample space for sure. It's cozy. Which
was kind of cool because that's the room that we toured.
Yeah.
And when they said that, I was like, oh, yes, because I like had envisioned that room. So
yeah. So in the room, there is 1 to 2 nurses at any given point. There's our midwife, Sarah Beth. There is our doula, Jack. We had a birth photographer. So how many we got there? 2 nurses, Jack, Sarah Beth, photographer, you, and me. Okay.
And one of the nurses was for me, and one of them was for Hayzen. But because I came in like a push-in, they had the baby nurse there the whole time.
Yeah. And I'd never done this before. So I'm like, are we going to be here for 30 minutes or are we going to be here for 30 hours? Like I didn't know what to expect. So I'm just kind of at your head trying to comfort you, and they're all at your feet. And then Sarah Beth, the midwife's like, all right, Robert, you trade places with Jack, and you get at her feet because you're going to be delivering. And I'm okay. I guess we're moving along pretty quick here.
Let's go through this first. Like when we first get there, I was at home sitting on the toilet. I did not even want to get in the car. That did not sound fun. So when we got there, I immediately was like, get me on that toilet. And so I went straight to the bathroom. Like, I don't think I looked at anyone. I was just like, beeline, toilet, sat there. And I really liked that position, like the squatting position. So they're like, let's get you off the toilet. And they had like this blow up squat thing. And that was pretty cool. And then I eventually like slipped off, like on purpose, but like came off. And they're like, we can do this, but we can do it on the bed so that you like don't slip off. And so we ended up moving to the bed, and we're able to be in that same position, which I really liked, which was like squatted, but like the back part of my, like the upper part of my butt was able to be on the top part of the bed. And they have a second part of the bed that like my feet were able to be down, which was so cool. Yeah.
And so we're doing all that. You're pushing, and you pretty much hit the ground running pushing. And
we probably got up to the room and stuff at like 11:15. And then Jack said like, I was pretty much pushing like as soon as I got into the bathroom.
Yeah.
But she's like, you really started like actively pushing probably around like 11:45.
Yeah. And then you pushed for probably 2 hours, 2.5 hours.
Yeah. I think it was like an hour and a half. Yeah.
Hour and a half. And then we hit a roadblock plateau. For a second there in that first little stint of pushing, like I saw his head.
Yeah. And they were like yelling, baby, baby.
Yeah. So I saw his head, and I'm like, I can't tell if he's gotten here. I can't really tell what I'm looking at right now. But then there was like no progress being made for a good little stint. So they had
I was pushing really hard, and she's like, you're a really efficient pusher. And I'm not really sure why he's not coming out. And up until this point, like my midwife is a freaking bomb.
She was pretty impressive.
She was amazing. So with being a VBAC, a anesthesiologist and a doctor have to be in the hospital when I show up and they have to stay the entire labor. So the doctor was asking, and she's like, he was asking, like, what is she dilated to? How is progression? Like, what's baby doing? Like, all of these things. Did you guys do an ultrasound? Da, 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 da. And she's like, it doesn't matter. She's pushing. I can see the baby's head. Like, she was just like, boom, 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 boom. And I literally like snapped. And she's like, yes. And I was just like, you are amazing. Because he didn't even come in. Like, this was all being informed through the nurse, because she was just like, we don't need any extra things happening in this room right now. Crystal's progression's going great, yada yada. But I also didn't really want to be checked. I also didn't really want to know my dilation. I just wanted to go in and have my baby and whatever. So she was like, she knew that, and she said, at the point that I had been pushing for like an hour and a half, she's like, we can see him. We can see that he's trying to come down, but he's not fully coming down. You're really efficient at pushing. I need to kind of see what's going on to see if he's in the right position or what's going on. So then she was like, I'm going to check you. So she got up there, checked. She's like, he's in a great position, but you have a cervical lip. So that was preventing him from coming down. And if you guys don't know, like, a cervical lip is part of the cervix that hasn't dilated back before baby's head really starts to come down. So his head was pushing on part of the cervix, and it wasn't allowing it to go up anymore. So if you keep pushing on that piece of the cervix, it will get inflamed and like swollen. And a lot of times it does send people into a C-section because they can no longer get that lip to come back. Or you end up getting a epidural, and they usually give you like Benadryl or something to decrease that swelling, and you wait a little while longer to push and so on. So knowing I didn't want an epidural, knowing I didn't want a C-section, she said, we're going to change you into these positions. So they had me end up rolling on my stomach with one of my legs up for like 20 minutes on that side, then 20 minutes on the other side. And then, was there another one? I feel like there was 3 of them.
It was 3, I think. I think one was, it was stomach side or back side, but it was both sides for sure. It was like 20 minutes, 25 minutes each side or each position. Yeah.
And that was probably the worst, because at this point, my body had been pushing on its own, and then I was helping it to push. So I was obviously having painful contractions, and my body was pushing. So I was having to fight my body pushing and get through all these contractions and try to relax enough for his head to ease off of that cervix.
And she tried to help with that too. Like, she actually like used her finger to move it past too, I think.
At the end. Yeah. So we did all those positions, and I just kept saying, can we be done with this? Like, I want to be done with this part. I cannot do this anymore, because it's like I'm fighting my body so much. I've never had to fight my body so much.
But it was weird to watch, because it's like you were not actively pushing, trying to physically, consciously do it. And it was like you'd almost like doze off in between contractions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I did definitely doze off a little bit. I do remember like praying in that position and just being like, God, you've got to help me get through this. Like, this is exactly everything I've wanted. Like, I think I was fearful at that point, because I knew that having that lip could prevent me from having him that way, like vaginally. And I just needed to be calm and like get through it. And nothing was calm after that moment. But at least I felt like a little bit of peace about it. And yeah, so then we ended up being done with that piece.
So that was about an hour. So you pushed hard for like an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. Then there's like an hour where you were
trying to fight it,
pushing, but not consciously pushing. And then after that, it was like PR go time, like everything you got. So they got like this ski handle, like this handlebar thing across the bed that you were holding on to, changing a few different positions. Then they got this ski rope handle, and they had you pulling against that so that you can kind of like crunch your whole body in while pushing. Yeah. And they were like trying to explain what muscles to contract. And they were like, think of it like you're doing a lateral raise. I'm like, no, not a lateral raise. Think of it like you're doing a row. And then
and that really clicked. Yeah.
So you started doing it like a row, and I'm like, I'm useful here.
Yeah. Well, so at this point, they had flipped me back. They said, get in whatever position you want to be in. So I got back into like that kind of like squatting position. And then she actually ended up pushing the cervical lip out of the way. And let me tell you, having someone's hand up there while you're trying to get your baby out is not fun, zero fun. And it hurts because they're pushing this tight lip over the baby's head. So that was a lot of fun. But yeah, they had a bar and I pulled on the bar for a little while. And then was there something else?
Well, there was the handles, like the standalone.
Oh, they had the handles on the side. Yep. And then they had like several different things I could put my feet on. I put my feet on the bar and then I put my feet on the little stirrup things and like all different kinds of things. But yeah, that was really helpful. You're like you're doing a row. And that was it. Like that really helped me to do it. And I felt like, so I didn't want coached pushing, but because I had a lip and because I had already been pushing for an hour and a half to 2 hours, my body was so exhausted. And then I was fighting my body to not be pushing and stuff. So I had already been doing things for like 2.5 hours, very actively, like aggressively doing things with my body to try to get the baby out. So by this point, I was like so tired. My body was very tired. And so I feel like I wasn't as efficient with the second part where I actually pushed him out. So it was almost like I needed reminders of like, okay, pull here, push here, like, so they ended up helping me a lot. And it was really helpful. Like during the contraction, they would say little things to me and I'm like, you have to keep saying that. Like, cause it's reminding me to do this or to use these muscles. But then they're like, don't push unless your body feels like it needs to push. Like, we're not going to tell you push. They're just like, when you feel the urge to push, go for it, and that was so helpful. And it was just like everything. It was everything I wanted. It was so awesome.
Cause like normally in a hospital setting, like you're given an epidural, so you can't really feel what your body is naturally telling you to do as well.
Yeah, you can tell a little bit, but
not nearly
you can't
as well,
really, yeah.
And then they typically want you just laying flat on your back with your knees up, right?
Yeah, I think that's a little less common now. I think that hospitals are realizing that there is actually success with women doing what they want to do. But I think more so like being on the bed is helpful because that way they can actually catch the baby rather than like someone standing or whatever, which I did not want to stand. I wanted to stand the beginning of like start of labor, but then at the end I was like,
yeah,
squat me down. I don't want anything else.
So you're pushing, you're pushing. And that pretty much brings us to the Ring of Fire, right?
Yes, sure.
What is the Ring of Fire?
So I pushed so stinking hard to get his head through that lip. You
were hitting some PRs for sure. I kept looking over at you because I'm trying to juggle catching the baby, but then like comforting you. There's a couple times there where you were like, they offered laughing gas, and you were kind of like on the fence.
Yeah.
Like then you asked me, and I'm like, no, if you do this, you're gonna look back on this and regret you took the laughing gas. So don't take the laughing gas. So that was, but you were kind of vulnerable at that moment.
Yeah, I was vulnerable, and I also felt like I don't know how long I have to keep going.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, like, are we almost past the lip? Are we like, where am I at? And she was just trying to get me to relax enough to like get through that hard part. And you're like, yeah, don't do it. Yeah. So I was like, okay, we're not doing it.
Like I kept looking at her because she was obviously knowledgeable and she didn't seem fazed by anything. So I'm like, okay, if she's not fazed, if she's cool, calm, and collected, then I'll be cool, calm, and collected. So we just kept ripping with that. And then but I kept looking at you several times and like you were pushing pretty hard. I mean, you had like veins coming out everywhere doing those rows. And I could definitely tell that you were having it. You were not having fun there.
My entire body was involved in getting this baby out.
Yeah. And then, so then the Ring of Fire. So baby's head pops out. Hayzen's head pops out.
So it's when like the head is like partly out, and well, you feel the Ring of Fire when the head is coming out, but his head was like partly out, and that is quite literally the Ring of Fire. It just burns and it's stretching. Your skin is stretching at that point.
And he just chills there for like 2 minutes.
Yeah, and you want that stretch to happen so that you don't tear. So it's like you're trying to breathe through it. You're like, and they're like, this is a good stretch. You want to stay here. It's okay to relax your body. And I was actually able to relax like during that time. It took me a minute, but like you breathe through it. Okay, it's going to be all right. It feels okay. It's starting to ease off because it's stretching and it starts to feel a little bit better and better and better. But yeah, she had to like move that lip out of the way. And I finally got to that point and I started getting a little nervous at that point because it hurt really bad all the way around. Yeah, I thought I had ruptured at that point. And I looked at my midwife and she was looking at me and she knew without me saying anything, she knew exactly what I was thinking. And I looked at her and I was like, it really hurts. Like it doesn't feel the same and it really hurts. And she's like, you're going to be okay. And then I saw her eyes wander, like going to the monitor. Is the baby okay? Looking at me, like, is she okay? Is she bleeding? Is she, like all the things. And she's like, you're okay. Like we locked eyes. And I think we like locked eyes for like a full on minute. And for her to like convince me, like, you're okay. This is normal. You've just never felt this before. Your baby's coming out right now. And it was like...
Speaking of Hayzen, the whole time, his heart rate was like 138, which is right where it should be.
The most perfect heart rate. And Rigel was the same way. The entire time I was in labor with Rigel, his heart rate was perfect.
Yeah, just cool, calm, and collected.
Yeah, but Hayzen, they kept saying that. They're like, this kid is chill.
Yeah. So at that point, when the head's hanging out, I'm all right, my time to get involved here. So I come round back to catch him, and she was like, she didn't know which way his shoulders were positioned. Mm-hmm. So like she's got his head, she's trying to find his shoulders, but then she's like twisting the head one way, then the next to find the shoulders. And I'm like, man, that head's probably not supposed to do that, is it? Looks like popping off here in a second. So she found the shoulders, and then I get into position. And then I catch him. He comes out. We flip him upside down so that he can exhale, start breathing.
Cough up all the stuff.
Cough up everything. At that instant, there's like blood gushing everywhere. But then I caught him. And then I put him on your chest.
Yeah, you guys had him there for a minute. I was like, can I have him? Yeah. But they were trying to get the stuff out of his lungs and stuff.
And then as soon as I caught him and like flipped him upside down, you could hear him like cry for the first time or squeal or whatever it was he did. And then,
he did not come out screeching like Rigel did. He came out like...
Yeah, it was kind of just like a cough and then like pretty chill.
Yeah, but he was breathing and his skin was going the right color and
So that was pretty cool. I feel like you just had like this big sigh of relief at that moment, the moment you heard him. Mm-hmm. And I put him on you, and then we couldn't delay cutting the cord too long because you had torn. They had to stitch you up, and you were bleeding more, hemorrhaging more. So they tried to push all of the fluid through the umbilical cord to him, and then I cut that pretty quickly after he was born. Yeah,
I was bummed about that, and like I was looking at her doing it. I was like, "Do we want this to happen?" And she's like, "You're hemorrhaging. We need to get the show on the road." And so I was like, okay, I mean, whatever we got to do. Okay, here we are. Like, let's go. Cause when you hear like, you're bleeding a lot, I need to stop it. It's like, okay, whatever you got to do, let's boogie on. And she's like, I'm going to get him as much blood as she possibly can. But there hasn't been a lot of studies on pushing the cord blood through the cord to the baby like that quickly. And so I kind of like looked up at Jack and I'm like, is this what we want? And it was kind of like it was already happening. And I really wanted him to have all of his blood. So I'm like, they've done it enough. I guess we're going with it. This is what we're doing. Yeah. So yeah, unfortunately, we couldn't wait for it to just stop pulsing on its own. But he did get all of the blood back because it was white.
Yeah. Yeah, and they kept saying how healthy the placenta and the cord looked.
Yeah.
And like,
the cord was like super thick.
Yeah.
And then they kept saying like they were like looking at the placenta for a while after I had been stitched up and all that. They're like, look at this placenta. It is so healthy. And like, yeah, it's what diet does for you.
Yeah. So they handed me like these little toy scissors that I cut the cord with. I really wanted to use that obsidian rock that Rigel would have napped. They wouldn't let me do that, but it would have been sharper than those scissors they gave me for sure.
Yeah.
So you got that, and then they stitched you up. I tried to help with that too. I told them I've baited many a fish and lure, but they wouldn't let me stitch you up. But they got you all stitched up.
It took a long time.
Yeah.
I was not expecting it to take that long, but she was down there forever.
He was born at 3:30 in the morning, and then we probably didn't leave that room until like 4:45 or 5 to get to our main relax room.
It was 6.
That we got in the
because so and that was like the worst. I don't even know if you were like watching all that was happening. Like, so before she stitched me up, she had to push on like my fundus and like push everything out. Like, all I felt was the insane amount of liquid coming out of my body. It was like a ton.
Yeah.
And it was like blood and urine and all of the things. And so she was pushing it out because I was bleeding. She was pushing it out, and I like looked at her, and she's like, "It's okay. It is a lot. It's okay." Like, freaking
I think
out.
She said, because they have like this bag thing that they put there with like a little kangaroo patch on it that's designed to catch all the blood, and I guess the baby if you drop the baby. But they said that it's got like measuring dashes on it. And they said that it's typical to have like 500 mils, and I think you were like 700 mils or something.
Yeah,
like
which
that.
is still less than like an average loss in a C-section. But yeah, she's like, it's mixed in with like urine and stuff. So I'm gonna guess it was about 700 and whatever. But it felt crazy. Like, it felt like a crazy amount coming out. But anywho.
Yeah, so they got you all stitched up.
And I only had a first degree tear, so that actually wasn't bad at all. I did have a couple of just like little lacerations, which actually took longer to heal. But we decided to leave those and let those heal naturally. And then the first degree tear, we sewed.
Yeah. Then we wheeled ourselves back to the chill room, whatever they call that. And then
Postpartum.
Yeah, and then we were there. So we got there like 6, I guess. And then we left. That would have been 6 Saturday morning. And then we got checked out at noon on Sunday. And then we were just pretty much there that whole time. Not really sleeping, because they don't want you to sleep with the baby for SIDS, sudden infant death syndrome.
Yeah, well, they just don't want you to like drop the baby or roll.
Baby.
Yeah.
But we don't really want to not be with the baby. So like you would hold them and sleep while I'd be laying awake.
Thing that they have, like, I wouldn't want to lay in that plastic thing after being in my mom's womb for 10 months.
Yeah, so we pretty much like stayed awake. We didn't sleep at all Saturday.
Yeah,
basically.
We didn't
Friday
sleep
night, Saturday.
So because I had him 3:30 in the morning, so we didn't sleep that whole night. And then you're just high on baby vibes that you're like, I'm not sleeping.
Yeah.
So we ordered coffee or breakfast or both. Oh no, Heather brought us.
Yeah, she brought us coffee. We were gonna just see what they had to eat at the cafeteria.
Yeah.
And I walked down there and I like walked around and I'm like, there's nothing here. So I walked right back up, and then we're like, let's just order a coffee. And then somebody said you can make an omelet in the cafeteria.
Yeah.
So I'm like, because I wanted something hot. You wanted something hot to eat. Okay, I'll go get us an omelet. And made you an omelet. They're like, using oils. I'm like, don't use the oils. And then they were like, I'm like, can I just get a dozen eggs scrambled up? And they went and grabbed a carton to pour my eggs in. And I'm like, I want eggs cracked. They didn't have those. So yeah, the hospital food's lackluster for sure. They brought us a few things, but it was all like oatmeal and orange
they
juice,
brought us meals without me actually asking. And then I felt bad because I wasted food, even though it's food we don't eat. Like, I felt bad for still wasting it. And they would come and pick it up and they're like, is this girl eating? I'm like, yes, we just ordered different food.
Shout out to Keto Bricks, Man Bars, Carnivore Bars, cheese puffs. We had like all those foods.
Moon cheese,
Moon cheese, yeah. So I ate a bunch of that, and then just snuggled with Hayzen. And then Rigel and Heather came with Caroline. That was Saturday around noon.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they
Somewhere,
came.
Yeah, I think it was
Rigel got
supposed
to
to be
meet
around
his
10,
brother, which was pretty cool. We had got
cool.
this little backpack with some goodies in it that we told Rigel was from Hayzen. So he was all excited, and he was like jumping up on the bed, hugging him and kissing him. That was pretty cute.
Yeah, Robert went down and got Rigel so he can come in by himself, like with just the 4 of us. And we had our photographer come back, and she took pictures like of us all like being together.
When did we get those photos?
Yesterday.
You got them already?
Yeah, I haven't looked at them yet because we were busy all day yesterday. Nice. But I haven't looked at them, so
yeah, we'll throw them up here on the big screen.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm excited to see those.
I don't know. I was like, I had purchased a gown that opens from like all sides so that if they did have to do an emergency surgery, if they needed to get in the back, if they needed to get in the front or whatever, like it looks like a hospital gown, but it was like I bought an all black one. It was one of my own. Like I could wash it. I purchased that to wear. And then we got there and I was just like, I wore no clothes the whole time. I was just like, and so I don't know how many of the pictures we can share.
There's definitely some that you probably wouldn't want to share.
There's definitely ones I would not want to share. Yeah.
There's definitely some.
But I think it's going to be hard to like find exactly. I posted one like on our announcement and I called Robert immediately. I was like, can you go look at the post that I just made? Because I am so like in love with like all things birth that like I watch birth videos and I follow a lot of these pages that like post just like people having babies and stuff, and people are not wearing clothes. So in my head, it's like, okay, if I just like cover my nipples, I'll be okay. And then I realized after posting it, I was like, no, like all of these people are going to see it. And so I called Robert. I was like, is this okay? Should I take it down? And he's like, nah, I think it's fine. And I'm like, my hope was that everyone was looking at Hayzen's face anyways and not me.
Well, I gave, because we tried to vlog it because we haven't been really good about vlogging, but we vlogged Rigel's birth, so we tried to vlog this one too. And then I gave Chip the SD card. Was there some nipple pics in that, Chip?
On the pictures, yes. I mean,
so Chip knows what your nipples look like.
You know, it's fine, Chip.
Listen, I'm a man. It was weird.
I'm a man. That's what he said.
I'm a human being, man. I was like, it wasn't sexual.
Yeah.
There was a titty there.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
So yeah, we're all one big family here at Keto Brick Compound.
You know, well, and I knew with like this being what we were doing, that's likely to happen. You know, like with the pictures and stuff being on there. So
it's weird that like birth is not a sexualized thing. Nipples and breastfeeding are pretty much go hand in hand with birth.
Yeah. And
modern society just like takes things out of context.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like you wouldn't think it's weird watching a wild animal breastfeeding a pup or something like that, you know? So who knows? But yeah, we have a Hayzen now and he's just as cute as he can be.
He is.
He is. It'll be interesting to see how he is different than Rigel as he grows, but I don't remember Rigel being this boob hungry.
Nope.
Like he is latched or crying. One or the other.
He's crying because he wants milk, or he is on me. Yeah. all times.
If I'm holding him,
or sleeping.
He'll either be sleeping, but if he's not sleeping and like wanting a boob, I obviously can't help him there. But like I'll put my finger in his mouth and he'll just like go for it.
Yeah.
And he'll be there.
He is like a
sucking
shark.
My finger for 30 minutes.
Yeah. And he'll just just crazy. I'm like, you are like a shark right now. It's it's nuts. He's sleeping, but rolling his eyes back.
Yeah, so feeling very blessed for sure. Very grateful. Everything went smoothly. And then...
You know what's kind of weird is like talking about the birth because it's... Obviously, I was going through all that to bring a child into this world. But now like spending as much time with him, I'm like, well, you were there the whole time. You know, like you were there doing the things, doing your part inside the whole time. And it's just kind of crazy because now I know him. You know, it's like now I know you, and you were the one I was working so hard for. You know, it's so cool. By far the hardest thing I've ever done.
Yeah.
By far, hardest thing I've ever done.
It's cool. I'm proud of you, babe.
So worth it. But the bummer is that like Robert and I both said like I would have pushed him out, no problem. He probably would have been out by 1:30 had I not had that lip.
Yeah.
But because I did, we went another couple hours. But I think I would have had no problem just like
had we not had that and we didn't have that like intermission period, like I feel like you would have looked back on that and like, man, that wasn't too bad.
Easy, yeah.
So yeah, that definitely.
Yeah.
But you just got some more savage points with that little hurdle, you know?
Yeah. And I do think, I mean, I know I have like the happy-go-lucky feelings and stuff, but for me personally, I do not think laboring naturally, like without medication, was that bad. Like, yes, I was breathing through, moaning. Some things were really uncomfortable. There was times where my back hurt really bad. There was times where, like, yes. But ultimately, I look back and I'm like, that was not as bad as I thought it was going to be, I think the hardest part, actually, even in the beginning, pushing was not that bad. Like, I don't think it was that bad. And pushing actually kind of gave a little bit of like relief. But the end part was the hardest, trying to get past that lip. And that was the most exhausting. I think that was the hardest thing I've ever done. Because I think before that, it was like, this is hard. This is like some work. But I didn't feel like this is the worst until I really got to the end. And then I was like, this is the worst.
Yeah. I mean, had that not been there and he'd come out with that first run of pushing, like, I was watching you the whole time and you didn't seem to be like dismayed at all. Like, you seemed like you were going strong, just rocking it, you know?
Yep. And there was times of like happy, smiling, whatever through the labor, the pushing, the whatever, until the end. And then I was just like, I'm literally like falling asleep or like my eyes rolling back in my head or whatever during that last bit. But
and how old is he now? He's born on the 5th.
Tomorrow he'll be 2 weeks.
Tomorrow he'll be 2 weeks. Yeah, today's Friday. And we're super happy, super grateful, super blessed, super thankful.
Yep.
All the things that we had hoped for.
Yep.
We just got back from Oklahoma yesterday. We took newborn pictures with him and then the family pictures. So
you say Oklahoma, it's like right over the border, but it was in Tulsa. Yeah.
So that'd be good. And Rigel's so far being an awesome big brother.
Yeah.
Like, I've been pretty pleased. Like, he doesn't seem jealous. I mean, there's definitely some changes, but he doesn't seem put off at all. Yeah.
I can tell that he definitely has feelings. Like, even last night, like, he wanted me. And I tried so hard to just like give him as much of me as I could. But there was a certain point it was like, we've got to go different ways because like I have to take care of Hayzen. And you were there. I mean, it wasn't like I was. But
then as soon as I started reading him his book, he chilled out. It was totally fine.
Yeah. He was just a little emotional anyways. It was just late. But I feel like when it's just been the 4 of us or me and the 2 boys, it's been pretty chill. It's more so when people are visiting that he's crazy. Like when Heather was here, he was a little hyperactive. When your parents were here, a little hyperactive. My dad's here, a little hyperactive. Like he's just like trying to get attention and he's just getting into like mischief. And I feel like that has a bit to do with Hayzen because he's always been like, not always, but he's more recently been more excitable and kind of getting into mischief and just not listening and, normal, typical 3-year-old things. But I think it's amplified when someone else is in from out of town.
For sure.
Visiting. So it's so helpful that people are here, but it also makes it a little bit more challenging with Rigel. And I don't want to get onto him. It's like, I don't want to get on to you. I want us to be like snuggling and happy and playful and all of that. But now I feel like I'm having to get on to you because you're being a little extra because other people are here. So it's almost like, I don't know if it's going to be easier or harder because like other people are doing things to be helpful, like cooking, cleaning, like all of that, playing with him, taking him out, doing whatever. But it also is making it more challenging to parent him.
Yeah.
So it's been an interesting balance of all of the things and healing. I actually think this birth was harder for me to heal than my C-section. But my midwife kind of warned me. She's like, you have a lot of swelling, but probably just because I had to really push through that. She said, you had a lot of swelling, a little tear, like just take it easy.
You feel like you're healing up good though?
I do, but like after yesterday, we had such a long day yesterday. I was hurting, and I think I like kind of triggered my body to like bleed a little bit more, and just because I was going, and it's like, well, I just had a baby 2 weeks ago, and you think, oh, you had a baby 2 weeks ago, like that's a pretty good healing time. It's really not. Like a lot of people do the 5-5-5. It's like 5 days in the bed, 5 days on the bed, 5 days around the bed. So this would have been like the last bit of like, maybe I have another day or two of like around the bed, and I have been doing all of the things. So I feel like I am healing. I'm hoping that I'm not doing my body any bad for how active I've been, but I've also been trying to rest. Like when Rigel naps, I lay down that whole time. I don't try to get up and clean the house or do whatever. Me and Hayzen, we all three nap together. And so that's for a couple hours. And then I sleep all night long. Like I try to like rest when it's rest time. I try to just lay down. But when it's the daytime, it's even just sitting in a chair, like a hard surface is 0% fun. But like even on the couch, it's just like the gravity is still pulling down. And so it's like really, unless I'm laying, does that feel good? Like so at the end of the day, I'm just like, oh, thank goodness my body can finally rest. So I don't know. I think it's just different because we have a little person to run after now, and we're busy people, and there's just a lot going on. It is what it is. If in a perfect world you could have all of that time, that's wonderful for you, but we're busy people.
Give me this munch.
We've got lives to live here.
All right. Is there anything else we want to add to this podcast, babe?
Oh, my. No, I don't think so. I mean, I'm sure we're going to get off of here and I'm going to be like, oh, I should have said this. Oh, I should have said that. But if anyone is looking to have a VBAC or whatever, even if you're like a first-time parent or just want to hear more birth stories, more information about birth, things like that, this one is specifically for VBACs, but it is for everyone because it shares a lot of different stories. I have been addicted to the VBAC link. It's a podcast, and they have an awesome Facebook group. Like it's very positive. If there is negativity, they like immediately remove it and things like that. So that was really helpful for me since Rigel's birth because I had a really hard time processing Rigel's birth and just listening to those stories, listening to other people who have gone through similar situations and wanting a VBAC, and then maybe they had a repeat C-section, or maybe they did have a successful VBAC, or maybe they had a successful home birth VBAC. And so I would highly recommend the VBAC link. That was a huge thing for me, very encouraging. And then I'm also happy to talk with people too. If people are, and there was like several people who would like watch on Instagram. They're like, I can't wait to hear how it goes. And like, I'm so curious. I'm hoping for mine too, or I just had a VBAC or whatever. Like it doesn't seem.
What is Jack's socials again? It's like shout out to Jack or Dua.
So she is actually ending with this company, or their
partnership,
separating this partnership, and then she's going into a partnership with someone else. So right now it's the Natural State Doulas, and they should be linking out to what she's going to be changing into next. But
and shout out to Sarah Beth, our midwife.
Yeah, she was amazing. Yeah, she was. Everyone was amazing. It literally went as perfectly as it could have. Like it was.
Yeah.
Awesome. The people were awesome. My nurse was absolutely fantastic. For VBACs, they require continuous monitoring. They like continuous monitoring for everyone, but as a VBAC, you can't really opt out. But this nurse, she held on that monitor the entire time. Like they did not strap them onto me. She let me change positions, and then she would find a spot, and then she'd stay there. And if I was uncomfortable, she'd let me move again. Like she did not even talk to me. She just was like following my vibes, following my moves, doing all the things, and like then checking on his heart rate and then like holding it there. She was just amazing. She was so amazing.
Solid team for sure.
Yeah, everyone was so awesome.
Proud of you, babe. I love you.
Thanks. Love you too.
Proud of you, Hayzen. You got anything to add to the mic? Nothing.
He just pooped, so I guess you're holding him now.
I can smell it. All right, y'all. Well, I'm going to go change a diaper. Love you, babe.
Love you too.
Till next time, y'all. Ta-ta.